So over the next few weeks especially, squad depth will be more important than ever, but just how deep is each championship squad? Let's take a look. Guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Now, with the EFL's latest statement that they will be carrying on with games over Christmas despite all the concerns surrounding COVID at the moment, it got me thinking, squad depth now is going to be more important than it's ever been before. I think the Premier League put out a statement the other day saying that as long as a team has got, 13 fit players and a goalkeeper, they'll be made to play that fixture. So theoretically, you'd think that the bigger teams, the teams with the deeper squads, with the more squad depth, and players that can fill in different positions would do better in those scenarios, but today I thought we'd really put that to the test. So this is going to be a bit of a sort of FIFA experiment with what I've gone ahead and done today. I've removed the top 11 rated players from every championship club, so we're theoretically left with the B team of every championship club. We're then going to go ahead and simulate a full season on FIFA and see where everyone ends up. Obviously, we've already done this with, simulating FIFA with every championship club and things like that, but I've removed all 11 of the highest rated players, and theoretically, whoever finishes highest will have the best squad depth and lowest has the weakest squad depth in that area. Obviously, this video is just for a little bit of fun though, and I would like to get your guys' general take on this one. Your squad depth for the team that you personally support, how good do you think it is? Do you think it could be improved? But I think the results of today's video will be quite interesting. So off the bat, and just scrolling through some of the squads and what they actually look like now that we've removed all 11 of each club's highest rated players, we can clearly see that some squads have been more decimated than others. But I thought this would be quite the interesting video really to see just, what sort of squad depth each side is working with. Fulham in particular, that's still a squad which can compete in the championship, to be honest with you, even with their 11 highest rated players all out. So yeah, we'll just circle through all the teams here. This is what each championship club will be working with for the season in this particular simulation. So we'll set up the career mode with Preston North End just for the sake of it, but what we will do is we'll go ahead and disable the transfer window, so none of the championship clubs can make sort of any moves in the original transfer window. Obviously they will have January to go ahead and make some signings, but that will literally be it. And we're then just going to jump into the simulation really and see how every championship club does. I will make some predictions off the bat in terms of teams that I think will do well and others that I'm not so confident for. Fulham, straight off the bat, I'd be very surprised if they don't win the league in this. Even with their B team, it still looks incredibly stacked. Another team who I think will be up there, Sheffield United, because I think they've got a lot of players who are of a similar sort of standard, and I think that certainly, adds to their B team and the sort of numbers that they've gone ahead and got in there. So those two clubs especially I'm expecting to be fairly strong in this simulation. Bournemouth, another team. I think what we'll generally see is the teams that are up there in real life in the championship at the moment tend to be the ones who've got the deeper squad depth, with a few exceptions. Blackburn probably being one of them. Very interested to see where they end up finishing, because one of the real talking points coming into this season with Blackburn especially was, do they have enough squad depth for the season? That was one of my real concerns, but what they've shown so far this season and the sort of youngsters that have actually stepped up and filled those roles. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to see where every team finishes. Get your predictions down below. If this was to happen in real life, where do you think your club would finish with their theoretical B team? In terms of what Preston are rocking with, this is currently the team that we'd have if we had our 11 highest rated players gone, which honestly isn't awful. I mean, we've still got like Emil Rees in there. The rest of the squad is looking a little bit ropey, but still got, Seth van den Berg in there. Andy Hughes been really good for us this season. Declan Rudd, as things go, isn't a bad backup goalkeeper either. So yeah, this will be quite the interesting simulation, and as we can see as well, the squad depth really ends there. Every championship squad is really small in this, so yeah, this is going to be a really interesting one to go ahead and do. So what we'll do is we'll jump to the end of the season. We'll go ahead and simulate there with me having no interferences either way. Hopefully I'm not sacked, but yeah, let's simulate to the end of the season and see where we end up. So here we have it, the simulation has now been completed. I've not been sacked as manager of Preston North End, so fingers crossed that means we've actually done quite well in this simulation. But without any further ado, let's jump into the league table and see how we've actually done. So we may as well work our way from the top to the bottom. I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing because Preston managed to wiggle our way into automatic promotion with our B team, finishing second on 86 points. It will come as no surprise though to see that Fulham have gone ahead and won the league, as I predicted, as I'm sure a lot of you guys would have as well, finishing with 97 points with their B team. Obviously a much weaker championship, given that literally every side has been weakened by losing their best 11 players. But yeah, the squad depth that Fulham have, both obviously in FIFA and in real life, is an absolute joke. So no surprise whatsoever to see them win the league. Pretty surprising to see us finishing second though. I mean, to be honest, when I showed you the squad that Preston are rocking with at the start of the video, it wasn't, you know, a bad team. I think it could be, you know, fairly competitive in the championship with some of the players they've got in there, but I certainly wouldn't have Preston down as having like the second best squad depth in the championship, nowhere near that in actuality. But then making up the rest of the top six, we have Stoke, Forest, Bournemouth and Reading. Few teams in there who I think are going to need some squad depth for the season. The likes of Stoke and Reading especially. I think that squad depth is probably more important than ever, not just because of the, you know, the COVID situation and things like that, but generally the amount of injuries that both of them seem to accumulate. I think that if we were to do like an unluckiest table in terms of the teams that generally rack up the most amount of injuries, Stoke and Reading would undoubtedly both be up there. Also making their way in there, Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. Not massive surprises there. Nottingham Forest got a lot of good youngsters who are on the fringes, who I think will do well when they need to step in for the season, and Bournemouth obviously one of those parachute teams who we, you know, always expect to be up there. Sheffield United in 7th, would have thought they'd be a little bit higher than that, but I did expect them to be in and around the top of the table. Maybe the biggest surprise here though, Derby County coming in 8th place, probably the team with the least like actual squad depth in the championship in terms of like senior pros. But like we've seen throughout the season, when, you know, Wayne Rooney's been, you know, needing to put that trust into some of the youngsters, they've more than grasped that opportunity. You know, the team was, you know, filled up with youngsters not too long ago in that game they had against Blackpool, and they, you know, got 3 points in that one. So yeah, if that carries on, wouldn't be surprised to see more youngsters filling in for Derby for the rest of the season. We'll work our way down the championship though. 9th place comes with Swansea City. Yeah, probably expected them to be in about mid-table with their team. Coventry coming in 10th, very interesting. Really interested to see who finished in the bottom three. 11th place we then have Bristol City coming in mid-table. Then slap bang in the middle of the table we have Luton Town. So I think anyone that's looking in sort of like the top half of the championship can say, okay, we're looking in an alright position in terms of squad depth. 13th place we have Middlesbrough, one of the teams who I wouldn't be at all surprised to see being quite busy in the January transfer window actually. Not just with incomings but with outgoings as well. Chris Wilder will really want to put his stamp of authority on that team. 14th place we then go to Millwall and then 15th Huddersfield, 16th Barnsley. Very interesting. I think that whole squad is quite young really, and probably the sense of some of those players from the sort of B team, as we'll call it, we've not actually seen all too much of so far this season. A few of those, you know, players who they signed in the summer transfer window, and some players who have just been out injured so far this season we've not really got to see all too much of a glimpse of in real life. 17th place we got Birmingham City. In 18th we then have Peterborough. I think the first of the newly promoted clubs there. Yeah, Peterborough, they've done the best out of all those clubs. 19th place, and just behind them, okay, we then have Blackpool. Probably most interesting though, we then have West Brom, who are as low as 20th when we take away their 11 highest rated players on FIFA, which, do you know what, I did have it in the back of my mind coming into this video that I did think that West Brom could potentially do quite poor in this simulation. I think that in terms of squad depth, compared to some of those other teams who are probably in and around the top of the championship, I think there is quite the drop-off maybe between those players in the starting 11 and the players who are filling in reserves and who would need to step in such a situation like this. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Just avoiding relegation, we then have Hull City. So making up the bottom three, we have Cardiff, QPR and Blackburn Rovers finishing slap bang bottom of the table. We did flag up Blackburn at the start of the video as well, in terms of that potential squad depth. I think it's been quite a debated issue actually, with the Rovers fan base generally, but you know, so far this season those youngsters have done a really good job in stepping in when they've needed to. But this simulation is concrete proof that the three thinnest squads in the championship are Blackburn, QPR and Coventry. We'll move our way over into the top scorers. So Ivan Cavallero coming in with 23 goals. Sean Maguire Maguire coming in with 23 championship goals. Jesus. I mean, I wouldn't put money on that happening if this situation was to happen in real life. Alex Martin, so yeah, one of those youngsters from Forest stepping up with 23 goals. Ollie Burke coming in with 19 championship goals. Lyle Taylor popping in with 18. James Collins with 18. Domingos Quina with 18 as well. What we need to remember is this is, you know, a significantly weaker championship. You know, the levels aren't as good, and so we would expect, you know, maybe some of these players to score more goals than they would do in a fully strengthened championship. Top assister is Sam Surridge of Stoke City, quite interesting. Most clean sheets goes to Travers of Bournemouth. But there we have it, guys. That was just a video for a little bit of fun, really. But the team who it appears has the most squad depth in the championship is Fulham, which will come as absolutely no surprise to anyone. That'll wrap it up for this video today, though, guys. This one was literally just for a little bit of fun. But if you did go into enjoying and you like to see some other like FIFA simulations with different stipulations on different teams and things like that, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. We may do one with like only English players or something like that. That could be quite the interesting one. But as always, if you did go in to enjoy, make sure to leave a like and do stick around and subscribe for some regular championship content. Apart from that, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.